I were you, I'm not sure I'd be able to.
I was like, okay, I don't want to be this.
I don't even know how to say that because however I say it sounds minuscule.
Well, yeah, I just remembered it was a lot. It was a lot of different things that I felt, I still feel.
You know what my cancellation took away from me? Yeah, no gossip. One story, one downfall, one epic comeback. This is not a podcast. This is an uncancellation ritual because we don't believe in cancellation. Welcome to Cancelled to Crowned with Sohini. From resilience to reinvention. Today we have a very special guest who did not let that one chapter of her life cancel her. As she stepped into chapter 2 with a voice stronger than ever. Welcoming Ria Chakraborty. Hi, Ria. Thank you so much for coming on Cancelled to Crowned. It really means so much that you are here because you are an embodiment of what the show is trying to speak of. I mean, you've had such a painful, heart-rending journey, and you have pulled yourself out of it on your terms. Each rein, each chord, you have taken it all back and owned yourself and your self-worth.
Thank you, Sony. I'm happy to see you, catch up with you after so many years. I'm really happy to see that your book is out there, the podcast is on, and no better person to kind of have this conversation with than you. You being a psychologist makes it all the more interesting for me as I love psychology and I love interesting conversations. So really happy to be here.
Thank you so much. You know, I look at you after so long and you're the same. You have been through this turbulent time where you had no control over the cyclonic winds and they just took you along. And you have come out of there and you've retained your inner warmth. I were you, I'm not sure I'd be able to. How did you manage to do that?
Well, honestly, when I was 17 and I moved to Bombay, I'd heard an older person talk about being jaded.
Hmm.
And I remember not knowing what that word meant at 17. And I remember, looking it up and then realizing, oh, jaded means that you are someone sans hope.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, I don't want to be this. So I kind of remember having a conversation with my 17-year-old self then, being like, no matter what happens in life going forward, now you're in Mumbai city.
Yeah.
Don't be jaded, huh? Be anything you want to be. This word, don't be. So I think somewhere that was, if I had like a life goal, that was my life goal for myself to not be jaded. And I wouldn't say that I haven't changed at all. I definitely think I have changed a lot. But yes, I don't want to be someone who's hopeless and jaded and angry and, so on and so forth. I feel that was a goal and I do believe I have retained that goal.
You're usually a jaded person when you see yourself as a victim. When you feel helpless, that's when you feel hopeless. And you have been victimized. And you've still held on to hope. What helped you do that besides this quote? I mean, falling off that cliff because of that huge earthquake that hit you, a part of your heart was lost. Your identity was snatched away from you. And the girl standing there was somebody else. She was like all hopeful, full of dreams, young, unabashed, in love, looking at this beautiful horizon. That's my future. Earthquake fell down, got completely crushed, badgered, destroyed. And then she got blamed for it. She didn't have the space to grieve. And she was abandoned and betrayed on a national level. I don't even know how to say that because however I say it sounds minuscule. Were you able to grieve?
So I think, well, yeah, I just remembered it was a lot. It was a lot of different things that I felt, I still feel. There are a lot of different beats that I go through. As far as grieving is concerned, I would like to say that grief has you never stop grieving.
Yeah.
Right. It's not that you grieve and then you're over it. Grieving sustains through life. The prism through which you're looking at grief changes. Life around the grief grows.
Yeah.
So, assuming that this is your life, when you're first engulfed by grief, grief completely engulfs the whole thing.
Yeah.
Over a period of time, the grief remains the same, but I believe your life grows around it.
Yeah.
So, in hindsight, the grief looks more bearable. I wouldn't say smaller, but definitely easier. And you also kind of establish a relationship with the feeling of grief. The thing about grief is it has a veto power.
Yeah.
Grief has a veto power on any other emotion, any other situation that you're currently going through. You may be having a conversation with a friend that you like. You may be eating food. You may be walking on the road, and grief can just come and knock you down.
Yeah.
And it can take over any other emotion.
Yeah.
And I felt that initially when I started understanding grief, I used to resist it. And of course, what you resist persists. And I believe most people do that because it's so scary. Just the quantum and the magnitude of that emotion is so scary that you don't want to kind of go into it. Human nature is to escape.
Yeah.
But the moment you kind of stop and let it happen to you, you allow the grief to pass through the body, you're like, hey man, what's up?
Yeah.
Do you want to sit down? Do you want to have a cup of tea? How you feeling today? Not so good. Okay, no problem. Do you want to be in silence together? And you kind of make friends with that pain or grief or whatever you want to call it. You don't fear it anymore.
Yeah.
And I believe fear is actually the root cause of every problem.
Every single problem.
Yeah. So I think I kind of somewhere made friends with that pain. I know it sounds like I'm romanticizing it, but it hasn't been very romantic, the journey. Because that's the only way.
Yeah.
And, as far as you talking about victimization and people playing the victim card, I think it is so unfortunate and the most unattractive quality of a human being to continue being a victim.
Yeah.
I believe that in your life, if anything happens that's beyond your control or not your choice, I will feel bad for you. But if something happens that you choose to do or you choose to continue being in, I don't have empathy for such people. I've reached that place in my life where I'm like, there are issues in everyone's life. You choose to continue those issues. You choose to make those issues last, and you also choose to cry about them.
Yeah.
Whereas being a victim or just being a person going through a life-altering situation is a choice. And I was very clear that I am not going to be a victim. I am not going to, I don't want sympathy, pity. Sure, some healthy amount of empathy helps you cope through dark days. But I kind of I feel bad for people who play the victim card because today I feel it's a trend. And everyone feels that there's something or the other in their life that is oh so bad and yet it's happening to them, whereas they're happening to it.
Yeah. Did you feel like a victim? I mean, so well said, where we have the autonomy. We have the choice to break out of it, even if it's been enforced and we've been ambushed. We always have the choice. But I'm sure that when you just got hit by it, you did feel like a victim in the initial stages. What was your thought process when you broke out of it?
I feel like I'm still breaking out of it. I don't feel like you just wake up one day and you're healed.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it just happens. It's an ongoing process. The journey it's healing because I think it's present continuous. But I do remember a day that things started feeling normal. And when I say normal, I started feeling hopeful again. Because for a very long time, I did not feel very hopeful. And I remember standing in my living room, staring at the tree outside my house and feeling hopeful about life, feeling like motivated to even do the mundane things of life, like going to the gym or meeting my friends or going out to eat a meal,
Going to the loo.
going to the loo, going to
That's
have a
also
shower.
struggle, yes.
Yeah. So just feeling suddenly one day that, hey, that's changed, something's changed. And then feeling so protective about that change that, oh, is this frivolous? Is it going to pass? Is this actually not going to sustain? Am I only feeling better for a day? Am I only feeling better for a week? And then I remember watching myself and watching within myself to see whether the anxiety and fear and despair was back or not. And then it just started staying. Started staying. That feeling of hopefulness started staying over a week, over a month. 2-3 months and I'm like, oh my God, this is still here.
Wow.
Have I actually healed? And then on the 4th month, I felt a bout of feeling that despair again. I was like, okay, wait a minute, is this all going away? Then I realized, oh no, 1 second. Now this is also there, but this is also there. So this will help this. And so the despair and hopefulness is going to live together. And at least we have this. We didn't have this before. So now we have that hopefulness. And I think I held on to that feeling. I clung on to it. And sure enough, I am on a path of self-discovery and healing as we speak. And I hope to remain on it for the entirety of my life.
I'm sure you will.
I mean, fingers crossed.
No, you will. You will. Like I said, you have anchored yourself back. You have pulled all those reins back and on your terms. How does that inner power feel?
It feels good to know that everything that you were looking for was not without but within. And of course, we've read these quotes.
Yeah.
We've all read the spiritual books. We all know what Buddha said.
Yeah.
But it never felt like, it's like, हाँ, उनको समझ में आया होगा because they left the world and they meditated and they found it. But I didn't understand it then. Having lived it and having found that place within, which is, I think the right word for it would be enough.
I am enough.
Yeah, it's enough for me. This place is enough for me to strive again, to fight again, to come out of something again, to want to live again, to want to be on earth for whatever it is my purpose is, and to want to seek that purpose.
Yeah.
I think just finding that place has been very empowering, very liberating.
Yeah.
Because suddenly the things that mattered to you no longer matter as much. Your priorities shift. And like I was 27 when, things hit the roof for me. And in my 20s, I never thought that I would kind of go so deep into understanding who I am, had life not put me in a position where I had to. And I'm glad that it, not that life put me in the position, but I'm glad that that's what came out of it.
Yeah. You know, when you hit rock bottom, again, a very classic old saying that when you hit rock bottom, the only way out is up.
Yeah.
And we hear it as kids and we're like, I don't want to listen to this. It's so boring.
Right.
But as you grow, you realize there's so much value in these very basic quotes or sayings that we hear, right? That's the only way to crawl out. Even for me, I mean, I started discovering myself only when I experienced cancellation on a public level, when I hit rock bottom. That is when I realized that the only way to survive this is to go within and find my own strength. And that's what I learned from abandonment. It took away my fear of loneliness. What is loneliness for you? Because you've also been abandoned at a grave level. I'm sure that some of your very close people may have betrayed you and left you. What was that experience? Is there a story that you would like to share where you were completely taken aback by something you didn't even imagine in terms of abandonment?
I feel like there's been so much of that in my journey. I've lost so many friends and people, and I was at a time very angry with the close people in my life
Yeah.
who left the building.
Yeah.
But I think today I forgive them and I've kind of moved on, and I understand that they were coming from a place of fear for their own life and their own reputation or image or whatever that may be for them,
Yeah.
right? But there was definitely a moment in my life where I felt the loneliest during my difficult times. And I remember feeling so scared. And I remember going to the bathroom to kind of like brush my teeth and get out and go. And I looked at myself in the mirror, and it just as if it just came out of me. And I had a conversation with myself. And I said, "You're scared, aren't you?" And it's almost like the mirror said, "Yeah, I am." And then I said, "But I'm with you.
Mm.
Let's go. You and I, we got this." And that moment kind of flipped just the switch on my fear, and it went down, and suddenly I was like, wait a minute. I got me, and I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
If I can be such a good friend to so many people, why can't I be one to myself?
Yeah.
And the self-talk continued thereafter. I still do it till date. I find speaking to yourself in the mirror extremely powerful as a tool. Looking at yourself eye to eye in the mirror and saying the things that you need to hear or the things that you're feeling
Yeah.
and addressing it.
Yes.
I find it's way more powerful than speaking to a friend or even a therapist for that matter.
Yeah.
And I use it sparingly when I feel the time is now I need to talk to myself. So, yeah, I think that in my loneliest, I found myself. In my loneliest times, I found that you are alone, but are you?
Are you? Yeah.
You have yourself.
Yeah.
So why are you scared? And I think the larger, deeper, slightly, meta thing is that we come alone and we go alone.
Yeah.
And that's true. And
It is. It is.
it's beautiful too, right?
It's beautiful. It's scary.
People
it's
join
all of
you.
it.
It's your journey. It's their journey. You are chapters in each other's lives, and you are there, and we're all just walking each other home, right?
Yeah. The beauty about abandonment is that it teaches you one of the most important primary basic lessons, that is to never self-abandon. And you can only learn that when you have experienced abandonment. It's this unfortunate yet fortunate truth of life. That's where also I discovered I'm here in my moments of abandonment. The first time I looked at myself and I looked into my own eyes, I got scared. I didn't recognize her. That's how much I had been hiding from myself. And I aggressively and compassionately worked towards becoming one with her and recognizing her and accepting her. And it took a lot out of me. So was that easy for you when you looked at yourself and said, I'm here for the first time?
I wouldn't say it was easy, but I would say it was organic. It felt organic. It felt authentic. And I think there is something to say about that feeling. When it feels right, it just is right. Having said that, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to get to that place.
Yeah.
Whoever has gotten to that place, I'm sure you in your own journey have gotten there. It doesn't just happen. It requires a certain amount of core values to be in place. It requires a certain amount of resilience, human resilience and strength to kind of go there.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people have that. Like, people often ask me, or the new adjective for me in the last few years has been strong. You're really strong. We are really strong.
Are you?
I can be.
But are you just that?
No. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I found it so amazing and amusing, because I was like, one second, like, strong is not my identity. Yeah. I had to be strong. And when people ask me, how were you so strong? I'm like, but if you were in my position, maybe you would have been too.
You have to keep your nose above the water, period.
You want to survive if you're a human being, right? You will want to live and you will want to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
So I just feel like the beauty of the human spirit is such that everyone has these things within them.
Yeah.
It's just about tapping into them. Mine definitely was fast tracked by a tsunami, but it's just about tapping into it.
It's also about choosing to tap into
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
and wanting to tap into it. You could have become invisible,
Yeah.
left the country,
Yeah.
started a whole new story somewhere. Everyone would have forgotten about Ria. You chose to hold your ground. You chose to reclaim your truths. You chose to reclaim your power.
Yeah.
And get rooted within yourself for who you are. It's a choice you made.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't stand up for yourself, then what are you ever going to stand for? Right? Like at the very core of it, like I was raised and I was taught to, my dad was in the army. I was taught to stand up for myself. I was taught to speak up and say what's right and what's wrong and what feels right and what feels wrong. And
Yeah.
if I didn't do that for myself, then everything that I ever believed I am or I want to be would just be ashes, right?
Yeah, it's over.
And that would be a true loss of identity.
It's the biggest loss. It's the biggest loss to not choose yourself.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that girl I was talking about who was standing at that mountaintop looking at the horizon, full of dreams.
I still find myself trying to make plans for my life, and I'm often so amazed at the human spirit of wanting to do that, despite knowing that you're not driving the car. Like now, I'm pretty aware. Life has made it pretty clear
Oh, yes.
that, girl,
Yes.
don't plan.
Yeah.
But still, I find myself in moments trying to, okay, I'm 33. What do I want to do by 35? How much money should I make by 40? When should I have a baby? Who should I be with? Should I be with anyone? I'm saying all of this still happens to me, despite the very deep understanding of the fact that whatever has to happen will happen.
But it's so important. It's so important to dream. It's so important to have goals. It's so important to see yourself heading somewhere with the awareness that it's not in my control.
Mm-hmm.
But even a child needs to cry for milk or the mother will forget.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to like cry to God and say, hello, remember me, don't forget. So it's a beautiful process when it's done with awareness. Like surrender is the strongest form of control, right? This is what I want, but I surrender to you.
Yet all we want to do is control.
Yeah.
All we want to do is we want to control our day. We want to control our work atmosphere. We want to control the outcome of everything. And I find that so amazing about human beings. I feel like we're rigged. Like we've been put on this earth and we've been told कि, कुछ भी हो सकता है. और ये तुम्हें पता है. But you're going to always be delusional and always think that you're controlling the game. And had it not been for that rigging, I don't think many of us would have survived.
Yeah, that's true. But where does control come from? Fear.
I think control, in my case, I think when you've been in situations where you've lost control and your life has not been in your control for so long, that the desire to control the smaller things that are in your control is very natural. It comes from a place of not having that control, that you want to control your life now. You want things to be good. You want things to be peaceful. You want things a certain way. So it just comes from there.
I think that's a healthy control, Ria. You're controlling the basics. I'm going to control what I want to eat because I have a gut issue. I need that much control or I'll just be like lying over there. So that's important. But the larger control where you're coming from the stiffness to control, like my way or the highway, where do you think that control comes from?
I think there are a lot of unhealed parts of a lot of people. And I think for each person that pain or that wound would be very different, which drives them to be kind of rigid or kind of very hard about certain things, right? In my case, I don't think I have as much rigidity. My desire to control life or to know the future or to know the outcome is quite normal, is quite regular. Having said that, I do have a reminder set in my brain that tells me, that laughs at me and it's like, relax. You don't need to control anything.
So that means you're able to trust. You're able to have faith.
Oh, I have a lot of faith. And I think faith is the only reason I can hope. If you don't have faith, there's no hope. And without hope, we are all in despair and depression, right? I think faith for me is the single most important thing that helped me come out of the trauma that I was going through.
Yeah.
It's the single most important thing that anyone should have. You need to have faith, even if it's a god or a deity or the universe or yourself or just life. You need to have faith. And I think all of humanity and all of art, whether it's movies, books, anything that an artist does, comes from the desire to share hope and faith.
That's so beautiful to have retained that hope after your journey of loneliness. And I can't say it enough, but abandonment, because it is what it is. Are you able to have faith in people though?
Well, I would say that it's lesser than before. When I say that, by that I mean that until and unless I get to know a person over a period of time, I have very few new friends. I have a core group who stood by me, and it's so easy for me now. I know I'm like, okay, these 5 people, they're my friends. My friends showed it to me, right?
Yeah.
It was quite clear who my friends are, and I often joke saying, I didn't choose you guys chose me. You decided to stay, right? But I don't think that I have the bandwidth, be the ability to make that many new friends the way I used to when I was younger or when before this trauma happened in my life. And I think that's okay. As far as trusting people comes, I won't say that I don't trust people, but I would say that I don't expect anything. I expect the worst, and if you give me not the worst, I think I'll be satisfied with that. So I don't really have any expectations from any new individual or any new person that I meet in my life.
Wow. That is definitely a mindset of freedom, because expectations is what bogs us down, hurts us, makes us rebel,
Yeah.
all of that. But also approaching a relationship with zero expectations, do you feel like it makes it dry for you?
I feel like I said, the friends that I have in my life, the people that I have deep relationships with, it's like it's set for me. I'm like, I already have these, and it gives me a lot. Like those relationships bring the warmth, bring the comfort, bring the no judgment zone, and I only care what these people are doing in their lives, and I don't care about the rest in that sense. So like I said, I find it hard to now go to the next level with a new friend.
Yeah.
And I recently did make a new friend, and she and I often joke about it. And she's like, this friendship was extremely odd because it's almost like you don't want much. It's like, I don't know how to be like this less a friend. It's like, because you don't want anything from me. And I think with her, my friend, I've taken some time. My new friend, I've taken some time, and I often joke with her. I said, you're my first new friend, since this incident. And I think it's got its own beauty, it's got its own mystery, and with time, I think any relationship really shows you what it can bring,
Can
to your life.
withstand,
Can
can bring,
withstand.
can hold. A betrayal does that. I mean, I also say that I can't make new friends very easily. I take a lot of time to grow into a friendship, and when I do, I stick. But I usually say that I just leave my 4 kandhas, my 4 pillars. And once I have that, I know I'm good. And when you come into that zone, I don't know about you, but I'm not letting you go.
Yeah.
Because you've carried my weight. And that says a lot about us as a unit. When we chase too many relationships, also we kind of leak our own energy,
Yeah.
right? So we're able to sustain it.
I think it's also bandwidth, no? Like now in my 30s, my priorities are slightly different. I feel like I was much freer in my 20s. I wasn't, as ambitious or as hardworking as I am today. I wanted to just chill. I could just be chilling with someone at a coffee shop for like no reason.
Correct.
Now it's like, okay, I have a brand. I need to work on this. I'm meeting this person. I want to learn about distribution. I want to learn about something.
Yeah.
So life has become more about what can I learn and what can I be better at? And I feel like that excites me today more than can I just have like a stupid conversation with a random fun person at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And in my 20s, that was the vibe. Like, I would just chill with people for no reason. Be like, hey, see you at a coffee shop, have coffee, girls, guys, friends, whatever, acquaintances. And I feel like a lot of us did that. But as age happens also, your priorities change and your bandwidth, it's all about bandwidth then, you're right? Okay, if I'm working 18 hours a day through the week, there's work, there's me time.
Yeah.
There's friends and family that already exist. That those bonds have been formed.
Yeah.
Now I have that one day on the weekend or the few hours. Am I going to spend it on a new person?
Rather go home.
I'd rather get a massage. I'd rather watch a show. I'd rather meet my existing bonds who I've not met in a while. So I feel it's boiled down to bandwidth for me.
Also, do I ever want to be in a position again where if I'm pushed off the cliff, I can't survive? That's where ambition comes from, right? I don't ever want to be helpless again. I don't ever want to be dependent again. I don't ever want to rely on people because I have been left by people. So I need to be ambitious. I need to survive. I need to be okay. I need to have everything in place. And then when I have the space, I'd rather share it in a warm, cozy place where I can throw my shoes off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bang on. That's pretty much like when you go through anything like difficult, and I mean, I had my financially rough patches. I think the realization that I had was you need to be financially independent to the point that tomorrow anything may happen. And I often joke about this, that the reason I want to make money is I just want to have enough money to call up any lawyer in this country and be like, you need to show up. This is the date of the court. You need to be there.
Yeah.
RTGS. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that was such a struggle for me when, I was going through my legal plethora of things, that I realized that this is my goal. Once I have this, I'm going to relax.
Ria, look at your goal. Look at your goal. Your goal is to, I need to have enough money to be able to call up a lawyer. I wouldn't even think it.
Yeah.
That's your basic goal.
That's my basic goal.
I mean, that's the extent to which you lost safety. Basic, primary, grounding force in our life, safety.
Yeah.
How did you earn it back for yourself? It's primal. Do you feel safe today?
Safe is a very vast word.
Okay, let's talk about emotionally safe for starters.
Emotionally safe, yes.
You do.
Emotionally safe, yes. I do feel safe. I do think that my body has been in fight or flight, and I went through my share of PTSD for a very, very many years, and I think that now I have kind of beat that fight or flight, and I've kind of found a way to shut it. Having said that, does it spike up every now and then? Yes. But is the frequency much lower? Is the intensity much lower? Yes.
How do you cope when it comes up again? Do you get anxiety? Do you feel afraid that it's all going to crash down again? What goes through you?
I have endless negative thoughts. Like the negative spiral is called a spiral for a reason, right? One thing can happen and my mind will go to the worst case scenario of the worst case experiences that I have experienced. And what I've found there is that one can not easily, well, I've learned this technique over the last few years, kind of pause and just watch. Like in Hinduism, it's called the Atman, the witness. The witness can, where you also witness your thoughts, you also witness your life and not just live them. You're like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. Oh my God, it can start from one thing is bad to life is bad. What am I going to do now? It goes there. And then I slowly start replacing the thought. So I'll pick one thought and I'll be like, you go. I really like my mom. Put a good thought there. I'll pick another thought. I'll be like, you go. I'm like, dinner must be very nice today at home. Is mom making paneer? I'll just kind of try and bring it back to the things that are really good in this moment. that I'm sure of. I'm very sure of a good home cooked meal. I'm very sure of my parents being at home when I go back. I'm very sure of my 5 friends being around and wanting to hang out. I'm very sure of these things.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I'm very sure of the fact that I can walk, I can talk, I can breathe, I can sleep, and damn, I can even order anything I want online to eat when I want to.
Food.
Right?
Yeah.
So I switch it with gratitude. It takes a minute, but the moment I switch it, I'm like, oh, I don't think you're an unfortunate person. I think the only unfortunate people in the world are people who can't get out of bed, who can't eat food, who can't walk because they have a physical disability beyond their choice.
Yeah.
And I feel like until and unless you're in that place, and I say this to myself, you're not unfortunate. Everything's good.
Where did you learn this grounding technique? I mean, it's a powerful technique. I use it in therapy all the time in different ways. Where did you learn this, or is it something that intuitively came up?
So I have an amazing therapist called Susan Walker.
Lovely.
And I spent very many years. I didn't miss a single therapy session for the first 3 years. And I used to go every week.
Lovely.
And there was a point in my life where I used to borrow money to go to therapy because I used to tell my friend, I was like, if you pay my therapist, one day I'll be healed and then I can work and then I can repay you, or I can't. So if you want me to be normal again, this is the way. So people helped me out. And really that process of therapy saved me. And this is just one of the things that I learned there. But I learned so much about myself. I managed to break the whole puzzle down and repiece it in the design that I kind of thought I like now.
Wow. I'm so happy to hear that, and that you're so open about the fact that you went to therapy and you aggressively worked on your healing.
Yeah.
That's incredible because you need that safe space. You need someone to handhold you sometimes, and it's important that a person from a third perspective does it. Your core team either wants to save you emotionally or wants to bash up the person who's hurt you.
Correct. And they feel so bad. Like,
yeah.
If I go crying to my best friend or if I go crying to my mother or my brother, I start feeling, oh my God, I'm making them feel, because they love you, they're going to feel bad that you're feeling bad.
Yeah.
But with the therapist, you know this is their job. A, they're equipped to handle emotions.
Yes.
It's not that they won't feel it.
Yeah.
B, it's their job.
Yeah.
So I found it very easy, and I recommend therapy to every single person. Anyone who discusses their life traumas with me, after a point, I'm like, here's the number of my therapist. Please go. And so many people I have sent to therapy, and they're so happy and they thank me. And people I've just randomly met also I've sent to therapy, and they feel like their lives have changed for the better.
Even I love my therapist. I'm a psychologist.
Yeah.
I have a therapist.
All psychologists need someone.
No, but I don't go to her for my clients' problems. I go to her for my own issues. If I'm feeling my abandonment issues come up, if I'm getting anxious, if I'm feeling grief, I go to her and I make sure I take therapy, we process it. Sometimes I go for back-to-back sessions. Sometimes I space them out. It's very, very important to have that third-person perspective.
And I think it's very important to do these sessions when things are okay.
Yeah.
Because very often what most people do is that when you are really anxious or really in over your head, you reach out to them and then it's just all about that situation.
Untangling that.
And then you feel better for a second and you leave it. But you've not done the work. You haven't gone deeper. You haven't actually, everything in your life and your personality that you formed was actually built from 0 to 8.
Yeah.
And then you realize that, oh, everything has to do with my childhood. And then you know where to go when you want to find an answer.
Yeah.
So I feel for me, like going every week really helped. And I couldn't recommend this any stronger, that I think everyone needs therapy. It should be mandatory.
Yeah. Do you think therapy has helped you retain this inner warmth that I still see? I mean, I met you as a teenager. Ria, you were so soft, you weren't even capable of swatting a fly. Full of energy, bubbly, happy. And it's still there. I mean, I see it. Has therapy helped you maintain that warmth, faith to an extent in you, despite everything you've gone through? There's no you're not angry now.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, you're hurting, but you're not burning.
Mm-hmm.
So has therapy helped you with that?
100%, yes.
Mm.
I think therapy has helped me with that. And I think my desire to kind of be the non-jaded girl that I didn't ever want to be, because I don't like bitter people myself, right? Like when you grow up, like when we're talking about the 0 to 8,
Yeah.
the reason you become the way you become as a personality as you grow is because you see, oh, the way that lady speaks, I like it. That way that man speaks, I don't like it. So you pick those things up.
Yeah.
I think somewhere deep down in my subconscious, I was sure that I don't want to be a bitter person. Because I feel like there's enough opportunity in life to be bitter about things. It's a choice.
Also grateful.
Yeah, I mean, gratitude is a choice, being bitter is a choice. And these are the choices one can make. And to me, it's so simple. I'm like, why can't people make this choice? It's such an easy choice. Why would you not choose? Why would you choose to hold on to agony and hurt yourself more?
Yeah.
Anger only causes acidity. That is the truth. Because I've been there. I've been angry. And it only and only gave me gut issues. It never harmed the person or the people I was angry with. It never did anything to anyone else. It only made me sick and sicker and more gut issues.
Yeah.
So eventually I'm like, okay, this doesn't serve me.
Yeah.
What does? Hope is beautiful, gratitude is beautiful, it makes you look good, it makes you feel good, it makes you want to go out there. So I feel like that choice, as hard as it may seem, I chose it. Even on days where I may have been crying in the shower, I remember in the steam of the shower writing very clearly, thank you, thank you, thank you, with tears in my eyes, not knowing in that moment what I was thankful for.
Yeah. I do that. I cry and I'm saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And actually I'm drowning and I'm like, where is this thank you coming from and what am I thankful for? But I am thankful.
Yeah.
And I can feel the presence saying that I've got you.
Yeah.
And that's the power of faith.
And that's the power of gratitude. And I think it sounds very cliche when you say try gratitude, but oh my God, it works like magic.
It is magic. So that girl of 27, are parts of her still there with you? Yes, the warmth and all of it is there, but that core feeling within you, is she still there? Or has she gone? What parts have you left behind and what parts are still with you?
I think the parts that I've left behind are definitely, I have left behind seeking male validation, external validation, outer validation. I think in my 20s, my life was very much about how the world perceived.
Right.
And it was very, very important for me that there was a partner in my life, a male partner who validated my existence and made me feel beautiful or made me feel wanted or adored.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely out of the window completely, which I'm really glad about. Beyond that, I think it's very liberating when you stop caring about what people think about you. It's not an absolute statement, because one can truly never stop caring about what other people think about you. So if I'm saying that, oh, I don't care at all, I don't give an F what people think about me, that's false. I don't care largely about what people think about me beyond a point.
There's a fine line between healthy and unhealthy.
Yes.
The healthy need for validation keeps you in check. And that's important.
And I've recently started experiencing outer validation again, right? Like Cancel to Crown. Like I think that's that second phase where things are working again. The brand is doing well. People have realized certain things and people are behaving differently with me and nicely with me. And in this part, I'm like, oh, no wonder I used to like this. This does feel nice. Winning an award feels nice. Someone telling you you look good feels nice. Someone saying in my case, your t-shirt is good quality feels nice. How do you stop that?
Correct.
You can't, but you can be aware. So I'm aware that, okay, I am enjoying external validation too today, but I do know that at the core of it, what really matters to me is my inner validation.
External validation is like chocolate cake,
Yeah.
right? It's so yummy.
It's so nice.
But beyond a point, it's going to give you a tummy ache.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Right?
think that's very well said.
Yeah. And I love chocolate cake.
Who doesn't?
Exactly.
And who doesn't like being told all these things? But you live in a world today where even children are told.
Yeah.
Children are told. Children who are going to school, celeb kids who are in the public eye, they don't spare them. He's a child, dude. He's just going to school. You are following him. You are interested in him. Why are you trolling him? So when you realize that the attack or the attackers or the trolls, they're not logical human beings. They are likely bored human beings, likely purposeless human beings, likely bitter, but not logical. Then you stop questioning it.
I want to ask the trolls one simple question. What is it that you're doing with your life? What is your life purpose and what are you focused on? Once you answer these questions, then I permit you to focus on me. Basic.
I wish that trolls could be asked this question, and I think that anyone who gets down and dirty to trolling and using the keyboard, is suffering, is struggling in their own life.
Hurt people,
Correct?
Yeah.
So once you're past that understanding, I don't think you kind of question it any longer as to why.
Yeah.
So I've definitely let go of that kind of care towards what people think about me or society at large. And that in itself is very liberating. For a woman especially, the moment you don't care about your reputation.
Yeah.
Because it can't get worse than mine did, right? You were called everything from a witch to a, black magic woman to whatnot.
Yeah.
After that, you're like, no, anything you think about me is only an upgrade.
Hmm.
Now, anything that you think about me when you meet me or you get to know me a little bit will be better only. Because actually, you might think, in the worst case, you'll think she's normal. In the worst case, you'll think that she's mean.
But she's not a witch.
Arey, mean is okay, yaar. I'll take mean happily any day. So when I've come to that realization, I'm like, now it doesn't matter. It's win-win.
Amazing.
So that's the nice part, yeah.
Yeah. This kind of freedom only comes from rock bottom. For sure.
Agreed.
Sad truth, but the only truth.
Also, there's another problem with this kind of freedom or evolution or understanding that, when you hit rock bottom, you get. Other people don't get it. Now, if you don't care about people, but in order to continue life, you will meet people. In order to be in a relationship again, in order to have new friends, you'll have to care, no? A little bit.
Correct.
What they feel and what they feel about you and what you feel about them. They won't get it. They'll be like, this is not possible. How can you not care? How can you not expect? How do you explain that?
Do you need to?
You don't need to, but sometimes you want to. Sometimes, all human beings want is to understand and be understood. Some people want to be understand and be understood with a small group of people or one person, and others want the whole world to understand them and they'll forever remain unhappy. But that's that. So you want that, right? You want people to get you. That's our innate, like, why is this conversation nice? Because I feel you get me and you feel I get you and it seems very easy.
Yeah.
If I didn't get you and you didn't get me, we would not be indulging in it.
Yeah. We'd say pack up.
Yeah.
Correct. But don't you think that those who get you? Like, I'm in that stage where I'm like, if you get me, you get me. And my whole team gets me.
Mm-hmm.
They know exactly how to react when, what to say when. And I haven't had to explain myself to them at all.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them don't know me from before. So I've come to understand if people get you, they get you.
Well, I feel like that's where I have felt lonely. Coming back to loneliness, I have felt lonely in the fact that the things that I've understood and the evolution that I have sort of had is not explainable to someone who's not had it.
They will never understand it.
And it's such a joy. It's such a beautiful thing to have come across. It's such a treasure to have found within that my innate desire is to share it. Can I give it to you? Can I give it to you? Take it from me. Just take it from me. So sweet, right? But then they're like, "पर ये थोड़ी होता है, ये हो ही नहीं सकता है. This is not possible." Like that's the feeling from people who've not experienced it, right? That's when I'm like, oh man, it's so lonely. I have all these gifts and I can't give it to you. It's only mine to have because I have been through the fire. So now I get this as a gift. The coal is turned into diamond, but only I have the diamond. It's so sparkly, see? So, that is where I feel a bit lonely. I'm like, damn, you'll never understand, will you? And I feel that about most people. Most people won't understand.
No,
Not
they
because they are bad or they are stupid or none of that.
They just haven't been through that.
Yes.
That process of cancelled to crowned.
Like there's freedom in being cancelled. That's why I wear the word cancelled so loudly and proudly on my t-shirt. And my brand also represents that because when you take away the power of the word, why do I need to be ashamed because you think I'm cancelable? Cancelled, cool, I'm cancelled, doesn't matter, there's no power left with you.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the kind of feeling and empowerment I wish if I could find my purpose, and maybe that is it, I wish I could kind of share with the world.
Do you feel like you get attracted to people who understand this process of cancel to crown, this process of chapter 2?
100% your vibe attracts your tribe, and 100% if someone, I prefer people who've been through something than who've not been through anything at all.
Yeah.
Because I know that anyone who's been through something has had a much deeper, more cathartic human experience and evolution, and that is so much more interesting.
Also, lack of judgment.
You've been there, you've been judged. Now you won't judge someone else as harshly because you know how it feels.
Yeah.
I feel the human spirit is most attractive when it is kind of been burnt and beaten.
Yeah. You know what my cancellation took away from me? Gossip.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Because the gossip just went like a chain reaction and it was out of my control. And it began with a story that was not true and it spiraled into 100 different versions of it. And that is the time when I said, oh my God, I'm never going to gossip again. But even if I'm at a table where there is dangerous gossip, I get up and I leave.
I completely feel you. I completely feel you because I feel that people do it harmlessly, but they don't realize that they are part of the problem. Like a lot of people say to me, I'm sorry this happened. I was there. I was fighting for you. I was praying for you. And I'm like, but did you partake? In my mind, of course. You must have. Or at some point you did. You're as much a part of the problem as anyone else. And I have the same reaction even with my friends, and it could be harmless gossip. And I'm like, but do you know? Were you in the room? Did you see it? When they say no, I said, then you have no right to speculate.
Yeah.
You don't know. You were not there. So I completely get where that's coming from. And gossip is such a frivolous word. It's such a frivolous thing. It feels like a fun thing to do with your girlfriends on a Sunday afternoon, but it can damage people's lives.
It seems so frivolous, but it is the most dangerous thing that can happen to any human being. You don't even realize that you may have caught their entire lives on fire just because you're choosing to focus on them and not yourself.
I agree. I second that, and I hope that more people, I don't think they'll stop gossiping, but at least gossip responsibly.
That's a term.
Yeah.
Be more responsible when you're gossiping.
Yeah. We use the words that I speculate. I don't know. I speculate.
Yeah. Yeah. Or restrict it to your very safe space, or it's fun, it's light. Sometimes it's nice to say, oh, that's such a bad, ugly skirt. It's okay. But what is the depth of your gossip? How far deep are you diving? Are you like attacking that human being's soul? Then that's very, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, I second that completely.
And the moment you catch yourself gossiping, that is an indicator to you and how much work you need to do as an individual.
Mhm.
So I really do hope that the audience takes this very seriously and tells themselves, oh, I'm gossiping right now. Oops, I need some self work. What work do I need to do?
I hope so too. And I think in the meantime, the people that are being gossiped about or have been cancelled or have gone through this turmoil due to what other people have said,
Yeah.
just don't care. Like, wear it on your sleeve, wear it loud and proud, because there's only power in people and in words if you give them power. Don't give them power. I believe that.
Yeah. Hold on to it. You are power. Period.
Yes.
Successful or not, you are power.
Yeah.
Happy or not, you are power
I agree. All human beings have it all within.
within. We just have to tap into it. What would you say to 27-year-old Ria who was going through what she was going through, talking about power, if you had to handhold her at that time? Today's Ria hand holding the 27-year-old Ria through her turbulent process. How would you have helped her?
I think I did. I think I did handhold myself. I think I did have those conversations. I think I did tell myself that I'm with you and I got your back. And beyond that, I would also like to say that I think I was extremely lucky and grateful to have the people that I had in my life at that time,
Yeah.
who did the rest for me, who were there for me, who I knew unconditionally were just there. And while I saw a very dark face of humanity, I also saw a very beautiful face of humanity. Both happened simultaneously.
Heads and tails, where the coin grows, both grow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I experienced both, and there's nothing that I would say to my younger self that I haven't said or done already.
That's what held on to your faith. The heads and the tails.
Mm-hmm.
They both grew, right? This side abandoned you, this side got stronger. They held you harder.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And you chose to look at that.
Choice again. There was a very amazing quote that I read when I was in jail and I opened a book, and the quote said that a priest reaches the gateways of heaven after passing away. And he's waiting in the library while the heaven librarian is telling him to wait.
Yeah.
After a while, he goes to her impatiently and says, "Hey, woman, I've been here a while. Like, when is God going to come?" And she's like, "What do you think this is?" And he's like, "Heaven, of course. I live by the book. I never drank a sip of alcohol. I never womanized. I never loved anyone in my life. I ate vegetarian food. I was all good. So where's my God?" And she's like, started laughing. And she's like, "Oh, silly man, heaven and hell. You were in heaven. You were in heaven. You chose to make it hell. That was heaven."
Wow.
So I truly believe that everything is a choice, and your mind, heaven or hell, is a choice. Today, if I make my day heavenly, it's my choice. If I make it hellish, it's my choice.
Perspective.
It's perspective.
It's a superpower. I talk about it in my book. Perspective is a superpower. Learn to work it, learn to play with it, learn to understand your script,
Yeah.
and learn to rewrite it. Because your worth is unchallenged. Situations are what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They hold both heads and tails. We can just choose to see what we want to see.
See, no one's life is like this.
Yeah.
Everyone's life is like this.
Yeah.
If you see the heartbeat till you're alive, it goes up and down.
Correct.
A flat line is death.
It's death.
So that can't be life. So, I mean, that's going to happen. That's going to keep happening to us. And just because I've been through something doesn't mean I won't go through something again.
Yeah.
But definitely, relatively, it will feel less painful, or relatively, I will have the tools to deal with it better.
Yeah.
And I think that's all they mean by the fact that when you go through something, you become strong and then nothing affects you. It's not that nothing affects you, you just know how to deal with it better.
Yeah.
Thereafter.
You live, you learn. What is your definition of failure?
Failure. I think failure would be to lose all freedom. When I say lose freedom, I mean lose the ability to believe that you have the power to choose. You have the power to choose what you want to do next. You have the power to do anything next at all. You have the ability to do anything at all. That is, according to me, failure, because
So seeing yourself as a victim.
you've lost at that moment, right?
Yeah.
You can't lose to life.
You've lost everything.
You have to play with life, and you have to stay in it, and then treat it like a game, and you just got to keep at it. And if you stop feeling that scares me the most for people. If they stop feeling that they can continue, or they don't have the will any longer to do more.
Correct. And what is your definition of success?
Success to me would be freedom.
Yeah.
If I had the ability to choose who to work with, where to go, who to meet, my success would dictate the liberation that is life, the liberation to do what I want to do, when I want to do, with who I want to do.
Yes.
I wouldn't do anything because I have to. I will do everything that I want.
Where are you at?
I think I'm getting there. I definitely don't think I'm towards failure. I definitely would like to believe that I'm inching towards success
You are.
in the definition
Of
that
course you are.
I feel success is.
Yeah.
And I think the middle part is the best part, because the journey is more fun than the final destination.
I think if you're sticking around in the journey, you're always growing. The moment you feel I'm successful, then you stop. And then
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Then you're purposeless.
yeah, I agree.
So beautifully said. This part is the best part. Keep moving towards it. Don't get your hands on it. Let it be like an oasis.
Of course. And I mean, that ceiling's going to keep changing, right? Like, I see a lot of successful people, whoever I have met who's truly successful in the world today, very humble about it, and they often want to do more
Of course.
and achieve more and be better and do this better and do that better. And that is success.
Yeah. How did your hard times manifest in your body?
In my body?
Yeah.
Oh, I had supreme gut issues, like we discussed. I had severe acidity that I used to call acidity attacks, which were probably panic attacks that I wrote as acidity attacks on antacids. I experienced a lot of physical symptoms because of PTSD and anxiety. But I think the physical body has the ability to heal much faster than the mental body. And given the right diet, food, sleep, sunlight, water intake, you can fix a lot. So I went back to the basics really quickly when I realized things are not all right. And within 2 years, I started seeing a lot of improvement in my physical healing.
You told me you had khichdi for 2 years. How was that?
So I studied Ayurvedic diet during the lockdown. Not that I'm some teacher or anything. I just studied a course, like one of those courses that everyone was doing.
Yeah.
And when I did that course and I was going through my own gut issues, my trauma and all of that, I realized, hey, I already know my doshas. I already know what's probably high. I think a mono diet would suit me the best. So I diagnosed myself and I gave myself a diet, self-prescribed. And I went on eating khichdi for lunch and dinner for 2 years straight. The only other thing I would allow myself is a banana, either in the morning or in the evening whenever I was hungry. And the body likes monotony. The gut, the liver, they like monotony. So you keep giving them the same food at the same time. They know what to do with it. And I think that really, really helped my gut.
The body and the mind are the same. The mind likes discipline.
Also, yes.
Yes. That's how they both heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Through consistent, disciplined, mindful self-work.
I had a quote at that point in my life where I was trying to fix my body, etc., which said that 6 months can change your life if you do the same thing every day for a little bit longer. And I started out with going for a walk, a 5-minute walk under my building. That felt so hard then. To then playing full-blown tennis, going to the gym, going for a walk, going out there. It was a 6-month journey.
Yeah.
So in the 6 months, the first few weeks, I probably just walked under my building for 5 to 6 minutes. So
You have to start, right?
you have to just start,
Yeah.
as small as it may be. The incremental value of the consistency just changes your life.
Yeah. What was the first time you took that small step to face the world?
In what way?
So when you got hit by all of this, I'm sure you had to be indoors for a while because you were at risk. Also, emotionally, you may have been fragile. I'm sure there was some social anxiety. How do I face the world? What do I say? I'm being trolled. I'm being attacked, emotionally abused. I'm just at risk. I'm not safe. But you took that first step of courage, however small it was. What was it?
I think I spoke at a conclave, I think 2 years after, and going back in front of the press and the media, which seemed to be like the thing that precipitated my wound the most, was scary.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I always believe that if you don't try, how will you know? And I was like, what's the worst case? I won't be able to do it. I'll go back home. Home pe to hui वैसे भी, I'm at home.
I'm anyways.
So I'll try.
Yeah.
If I can't do it, I won't do it. And that was the first time, and it wasn't easy. But thereafter, I realized that there's power in being able to go out there and reclaim your narrative and reclaim your story, because it's only yours. It's no matter what other people believe, it's
And
not
only
there.
you know it. You know, there's something called shame attack in REBT, where you pick the thing you're scared of. Like in my case, it was a stammer. I used to stammer a lot. I couldn't even speak to more than one person at a time. Sometimes I couldn't speak at all. I still do sometimes. So say in my case, it's the stammer, and I decide to face the stammer. So I go into a public forum, I stand on a stage, and I start talking, and I watch the anxiety go up, 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 up. It peaks, and then it comes down, 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 down. It has no choice. Once it's peaked, it has to come down. And then you realize, oh, so I stammered and I gave up. Okay, I'll try again. But the anxiety went down. Or I could do it, or I didn't stammer that much. So even if you failed at it, it gives you the opening to try again.
Right.
And these shame attacks are the most brilliant gifts that you could give yourself.
I like that term, shame attack. This is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that the more you do something, the less it's going to scare you.
Yeah. What is peace according to you today?
Oh, I love peace. Peace is what I'm experiencing right now, and peace is the most sacred thing that I hold on to the hardest and the strongest, because I feel like it's very undervalued. You only will understand the value of peace when you've not had it for a while.
Yeah.
Peace to me is just being able to have a day off at home and eating whatever food I want, watching whatever show I want, hanging with my family, wanting to go down and go for a walk on the streets without having to think twice about who you may or may not encounter. And I would like to proudly say that I have achieved that peace after a very long struggle of not.
Touch wood. I really do hope it stays. And this is the end of your turbulent journey. And big crown for you, Riya, for
Thank you.
everything you have been through and the way you have reclaimed your power. The crown doesn't mean that we've won a pageant or we are walking around with crowns on our heads. The crown is just about crowning yourself. It sits in your heart and yours shines through.
As does yours.
Thank you.
And thank you for creating another safe space for people to share their life experiences without feeling judged. And I think it's beautiful to have more people like you come out there and create these spaces, because I think that's what the world requires today.
Yes. I required that when I was lost.
Yeah. See.
I want to close the show by asking you a very basic question, because you have been labeled, I don't even know by how many terms. But I want to hear from you. I am not what happened to me.
I'm not what happened to me. I am just me, and that me can be very many things, and hopefully will not be any one thing for the rest of my life. Hopefully will change, evolve, and grow with life, beyond life. And that's true for anyone else who feels that they may be defined by the worst thing that happened to them. I think being defined by anything is flawed, and letting anyone define you is even a step down from that.
So I am undefined. I am
Undefined,
evolving.
evolving, yes.
Beautiful.
And you, what would that be for you?
I would say I am evolving. I am expanding. I am growing. And sometimes I'm not. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to not be okay,
Yeah.
but to evolution and
growth.
and growth
And no judgment and
No
no
judgment.
gossip.
and no gossip.
Yeah. No gossip. So we have a ritual on our show. It's a self-love card
Okay.
where it encourages you to do an act of self-love for yourself and then pass it on to the next person and encourage them to do an act of self-love and create a chain of self-love.
That is so cute. I absolutely adore this, and I shall definitely be in charge of making this chain expand.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's a little crowning gesture from us for you.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to reading your book. I really like the way you write, so I'm definitely going to read that, and then I'm going to call you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.